The government domiciled in that country is set to donate over $1 million in total into the account and coffers of the USP. This happens to be a big one. The president of the most powerful nation of the world is set to donate over $1 million into the USB fundraising team. Yes, this came as a shocker, and this happens to be one of the biggest news and updates we've received in this month of March. So in this video, we shall be discussing every single thing that's happened behind the scenes and all of the events that led to this point in time where the president of USA have chosen and opted in to donate $1 million. This video is going to be a very interesting one, and I will urge you to watch it up until the very end. So let's begin. But first thing first, you need to know and understand one thing. As we speak, the current president of the USA has suspended and stopped all forms of donations to the third world countries and to countries in need. Well, for example, take a look at this publication coming from the BBC, released on the 7th of February 2025, this same year, where it states, "What is USAID and why is Trump poised to close it down?" It also went a step further to give us more clarification and a better picture. Take a look at the highlighted part of this publication, an article where it states, "The president of the USA posted on his Truth social page on Friday that the USAID's spending is totally unexplainable. Close it down." So as you can see, the president of the USA has stopped and suspended or even halted all forms of contributions, donations, and aids to third world countries and developing countries of the world, including Nigeria, India, Ghana, South Africa, and so on and so forth. But why did the president of the USA choose to donate into the USB struggle and quest? Well, this whole thing all kickstarted on the 25th of January of 2017, when an American news publication known as Africa in Transition published an article on its website. So here right now on your screen is this article where it states, "The USB and the USA-Nigeria relationship." It also went a step further to give us more clarity. Take a look at the highlighted part of this article where it states, "On the US inauguration day, the USB staged a rally in Port Harcourt to support of American president." According to a movement spokesman, the USB supports the current president of the USA because he favors self-governance and rights of self-determination. And this, like I said, was recorded and published on the 25th of January 2017. But then something happened in that particular day. Something happened the day members of the USB came out in Port Harcourt to hold a rally in favor of the sitting president of the USA. So the question here is, what really happened? Well, take a look at this publication where it stated, according to some media sources, the Nigerian police unalived 11 demonstrators and arrested more than 65. So as you can see, the day USB members came out to hold a rally in Port Harcourt back in 2017, the Nigerian police shot and unalived some of its supporters and members. Well, showing right now on your screen is that day and time, the day a rally was held in Port Harcourt. As you can see, this looks like a peaceful protest with these individuals holding placards and flags and all of those stuff. This looked like a peaceful protest, but the Nigerian police came out to fire live arms on these individuals. Well, that incident did not sit well with the USA, and that is why a popular organization known as the Amnesty International covered the whole event word for word and covered the whole event picture frame by picture frame. Well, showing right now on your screen is a publication released from Amnesty International where it states, "Bullets were raining everywhere, deadly repression of USB activists." A couple of days later, this Amnesty International wrote a letter and documented the whole event that unfolded in Port Harcourt and sent it to the US president at that time. And like I said, this was back in 2017. Yes, and this was the very first time that the sitting president of the USA, the current president of the USA, got to know about the USB, because the Amnesty International wrote and documented proper files and it was sent to him in his office. So the sitting president of the USA saw the videos, saw all the news articles and publications, and he got to know about the struggle. Well, moving on swiftly, around 2021, Trump left the office of the president of the USA and Biden took over that particular seat. So at that point in time, all the processes to donate or help the USB was placed on hold because Mr. Trump had no legislative power when or after he left the office of the president of the most powerful nation of the world. But then, on the 21st of January 2024, January of last year, Mr. Simon made a post on his X page that drew the attention of Trump yet again. What is that post and what is the tweet? Well, shown right now on your screen is the day and time when Mr. Simon asked individuals from all parts of the world to donate into the USB struggle. As you can see, it states those looking for where to donate. You can actually send donations to 2 different websites. You can make your USB donation using any of the above link. And these are the exact words coming from Mr. Simon. And like I said, this caught the attention of the sitting US president. And something happened behind the scenes. Mr. Simon, together with his team, were clearly instructed to make the donation link very seamless and easy to use, because at some point, if you wanted to donate into the USB struggle, it was kind of very, very tricky and very, very stressful to do. So Mr. Simon was clearly instructed by the leaders in the USA to make your donation sites very easy to use and very, very seamless to use by any individual domiciled from any part of the world. Interestingly, Mr. Simon, together with his team, they all listened to the advice coming from top individuals, and that is why they created 2 payment platforms on their website. One can actually use PayPal to pay, and you can actually use your credit card or debit card to make payment into this funding. Yes, the moment Mr. Simon and his team made this quick fix on their payment platform on their website, top individuals from all parts of the world donated into this struggle. Showing right now on your screen some of the top individuals and the families who paid and contributed hundreds of US dollars into the accounts of the USB. Yes, a lot of top individuals from Africa, from South America, and so on and so forth came together to pay or donate huge amounts of cash into this struggle known as USB. But then something interesting happened. A couple of weeks back, the Deputy Prime Minister of the USB, in the person of Ngozi Oreboweze, traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet with individuals domiciled under the United States Department of Justice. Yes, she traveled to the USA to meet these individuals, seeking for funds and seeking for assistance, and also seeking for clearance from this particular group known as U.S. Department of Justice. Yes, just in case you don't know, this U.S. Department of Justice is known for granting funds and also granting reliefs to individuals, entities, and countries domiciled on all parts of the world. So Ngozi Oreboweze met with individuals in Washington, D.C., asking for funding, asking the U.S. government and its administrative bodies to actually help with funds, help with tangible amounts of funds to help with the USB struggle. And as we speak, the government domiciled in that country is set to donate over $1 million in total into the account and coffers of the USB. This happens to be a big one, and this definitely will change the trajectory of the USB government and its movement going forward, because $1 million is more than enough to see through the struggle of the USB. Anyways, kudos to the US government and individuals who spearheaded this contribution, and kudos to Ngozi Oreboweze for pushing this into limelight. Anyways, the moment the US government will pay this $1 million into the accounts of the USB government, will definitely make a video coverage and a breaking news coverage to showcase and expose every single details within. So if you want to be among the very first individuals to get that video as soon as it drops, do well to subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications so you can get notified whenever that video drops. Anyways, moving on swiftly. In our previous video, we noticed that the current president of Nigeria, in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has hijacked the accounts, the properties, and belongings of Mr. Simon. Yes, just in case you don't know, Mr. Simon had 2 existing accounts, bank accounts domiciled with a particular bank in Nigeria, and as we speak, that account has been hijacked and overtaken by the government of Nigeria. In our previous video, we made a full coverage of that particular incident. Anyways, if you want to watch that video and get full updates and better understanding, do well to click on this video showing right now on your screen to watch and understand. Click on this video and I will see you on the other side. Thanks for watching.
The Nigerian government, they are not ready because of the influence above them and influence beyond them. Before, I told you people about the influence from the Southeast politicians who never wanted Nnamdi Kanu to come out. And the world knows, I'm sorry to say this, the world knows that Nnamdi Kanu is a dangerous secessionist. What I mean by that is that if Nnamdi Kanu is determined that he is going to lead Biafra to secession, or should I say a new recognition, because a country was declared before, before the civil war happened. If Nnamdi Kanu really wants to do that with the way he was going, he will achieve it and nothing can stop him. And that is why so many people from around the world, especially people who are benefiting from Nigeria, they tag Nnamdi Kanu a dangerous secessionist. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. As you can see, the news headline, lawyer says prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu is no longer lawful, slams Nigerian government. Before now, I think a lot of people are aware that Nnamdi Kanu will be going to court on Friday this week. That is the 21st day of March 2025. So he will be going to face Justice Omotosho. Yeah, that is the name of the new judge assigned to Nnamdi Kanu. Now, one of the most controversial cases I've ever seen, well, I don't too much pay attention to the legal proceedings of other countries. But as far as I'm concerned, to the best of my knowledge, Nnamdi Kanu's trial is one of the most controversial cases I have ever seen. Because the federal government of Nigeria, they have done what they are not supposed to do, both kidnapping him. And the worst thing is that the same Supreme Court of that country has faulted government for doing all these things, so many things they did against Nnamdi Kanu. So, everywhere meaning lawyers are speaking forth because of the upcoming case, but that will not change what is going to happen. So what is going to happen will happen because it is between the judge and what the judge knows and what influences the judge and what the judge wants to do. It is all about it, So when I mean what influences the judge, it could be the federal government, it could be other forces, Then it depends if the judge will do what is right or not. So I don't even have any probability of saying this will happen or that will happen. It's just to the determination of the judge. Now, why is it that so many lawyers are beginning to speak forth now? Again, because of this case. This is because it has become an international embarrassment. It's an international embarrassment. A lot of international bodies, including the United Nations, has recommended the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, but yet nobody, cares to understand the consequences of the continuous incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, let us see what this lawyer is talking about. Now, it says, human rights lawyer Barrister Christopher Chidera has criticized the Nigerian government's decision to restart the prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, from scratch. He describes any attempt to prosecute Kanu under the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013 as legally indefensible, procedural improper, and morally unjustifiable. Now, if the federal government of Nigeria, for those of you that always say that the politicians are working to resolve this issue, they are working to do political solution and so on and so forth, the Nigerian government, they are not ready because of the influence above them and influence beyond them. Before, I told you people about the influence from the Southeast politicians who never wanted Nnamdi Kanu to come out. And the world knows, I'm sorry to say this, the world knows that Nnamdi Kanu is a dangerous secessionist. What I mean by that is that if Nnamdi Kanu is determined that he is going to lead Biafra to secession, or should I say a new recognition, because a country was declared before, before the civil war happened. If Nnamdi Kanu really wants to do that with the way he was going, he will achieve it and nothing can stop him. And that is why so many people from around the world, especially people who are benefiting from Nigeria, they tag Nnamdi Kanu a dangerous secessionist. A man who knows what to do about secession. A man who will not even carry a weapon against you, but you will see him as more dangerous than people who are carrying weapons. A man who can use his words to bring everything down, to stand still. So they see him as a very dangerous secessionist. And that is why Nigeria government, they are violating all the whole law, all the whole norms. Any law you can even come and think about, Nigeria government are violating it because of Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah. They are ready to paint their name black. They are ready to paint their name like this country is just a useless country, a shithole. They are ready to continue to violate the law because of just Nnamdi Kanu. But the question is, how long will they continue? Yes, that is the hope, because nothing lasts forever. Power will not also last forever. Let's continue to understand the position of this lawyer, Mr. Chidera. He says that Chidera urged the Tinubu administration to promptly engage in peaceful negotiation to resolve the matter amicably before midnight on Thursday, 28th March 2021. Why? Because on 21st is the date of the court proceeding. Okay. Now, he warned that failure to do so could lead to the exposure of high-profile corruption, systematic failure, and injustice within Nigeria's judicial system. Anyway, Nigeria, do they care? They don't care. They are bent to killing people who speak for, people who are speaking for it. If you say the truth, they come after you. When the referral to me wrote about Nigeria, judicial system, the corruption in it, they came against him, the whole powers that be, if not that people spoke and people stood for him, everybody rose up. That man could have been in detention up till now. Now, in a statement released over the weekend in Abuja, it was highlighted that Nnamdi Kanu case serves as a stark illustration of the vulnerabilities within the Nigerian legal and judicial system when faced with the relentless pursuit of justice and self-determination. The statement emphasized that the section of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013, which the prosecution has relied upon, is no longer an active law in Nigeria. It further argued that attempting to proceed under a repeal status amount to a violation of the long-standing doctrine of stare decisis, a principle that upholds the consistency and integrity of the justice in common law system. Now, let me explain what this guy is saying, what this lawyer is saying. And that was what Alledgely said some time ago, that this Terrorism Amendment Act of 2013, something like that has been amended, the law they are using to charge him for this terrorism act when they shifted from treason does not exist. So the law is no longer existing, has been amended. So the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, everybody knows that it is not because of prosecution. They just want to keep him there. They just want to delay everything. They just want to see if this man could have change of mind, if we can weaken his morale, if we can make sure that this man does not, continue in high spirit that he is. But what they see every day is totally opposite. Because this same man they have been keeping to demoralize, he will come to court and show them that he is a liar. He will show them that, no, I'm not being deterred with what you people are doing. He will also come to show them that, listen, life is life, death is death. People who are even dead are not better than people who are alive, because everyone living, even you watching me talking to you, we are all going to die. So that is another point where people who seriously understand this world sees things. We all are going to die. So what is the sense of fear? Anyway, the article continues that it further argued that attempting to proceed under a repeal status amounts to a violation of the long-standing doctrine of shared. Okay, I've read that place. Okay, let me stop the article here because the article continues. Now, everybody understands what this man is saying. Because just imagine the judicial rascality that was going on, or should I say court process rascality, where after a judge we said, okay, since the defendant don't trust me, I think I have the right to recuse myself according to the law. So after doing that, it becomes legal. Now, they still go back to tell the woman, you must continue the case. So in every angle, every step that these people are taking, the world is seeing that these people are biased. These people, the process is fraudulent, okay? The process of trying this man is fraudulent. And let's see what is going to happen on Friday. Thanks for listening.
Do you think your objective is achievable? It is achievable because you would expect any dictatorial state, you would expect any backward banana republic, which Nigeria has become, to speak in exactly those terms. But what they have cleverly forgotten is that they are the instigators of separation. They are the ones making the polity ungovernable. They are the ones going about pillaging, killing, sacking villages and occupying them. They are the ones that have taken nepotism to a new and unbelievable level. They are the ones running Nigeria as if it is a private family business. They are the ones that have promised and sworn to bring Islam into Biafra land. They are the ones arming and equipping the 4 known terror groups you have in Nigeria to cause havoc and kill innocent people. We are not going to fold our hands and watch this continue to happen. The same set of circumstances obtained in 1966 when over 300,000 Biafrans were slaughtered in the north. That led to the declaration of the state of Biafra in 1967. This time around we are far more prepared, far more knowledgeable, far more aware, and far more exposed to allow the same thing to happen to us again. They promised to Islamize and to colonize us, but we will not allow that to happen.
So let me ask you this. Recently, when Nigeria held elections, you made a proclamation about a support for one party or another. People say, if you want an independent state, why support a party to participate in an election that you don't believe in, that really undermines your objective of having an independent state of Biafra?
First of all, we are Democrats, and secondly, we did not advocate for the voting of any particular party. What we said very clearly is that the policies of APC, as championed by the cabal who are in charge in Abuja, is not sustainable and cannot be supported. We also wanted to demonstrate our ability to be flexible and more so to respond to the yearnings and aspirations of our elders who demanded and pleaded with us to allow the voting to go ahead. But what I can say to you is that voting in Nigeria, as you've well seen, thankfully you were there to observe it, is not only shambolic, but is an exercise in futility. Voting doesn't count in Nigeria. People voting in Nigeria is a wasted effort. All the ballot boxes, all the ballot papers, all the polling stations belonging to Biafrans in Lagos, for instance, Abuja, Kanu, Kaduna, and Zaria, were all destroyed during the election day, rendering it absolutely useless. What they have said to us is that we do not belong to Nigeria, we are not part of Nigeria. It is even a worse form of apartheid than what obtained in South Africa. Those are the conditions we are being forced to live under. Where the circumstances allowed us to participate, of course, we said we are lifting the boycott, but as you can see, regardless of what you do, the outcome is always predetermined. The Fulanis in the north will always write the results, and the army will enforce it, and the court will rubber stamp it, and that's where we are today.
Does your cause entail in engaging with the government to achieve your objective, or does that also entail picking up arms against the administration or the state of Nigeria?
Not at all. We are averse to picking up arms. We are not interested in armed struggle. We believe that ideologically and intellectually that this war can be won, and won very convincingly. Therefore, there will be no recourse to armed conflict. But in terms of dialogue, you can't say no to discussing with people. If they want to discuss the terms of separation, we are more than willing to accommodate them. But one thing is obvious. We are not going to stop until Biafra is restored. Our approach of civil disobedience and making sure that nothing functions that will benefit the central government in Nigeria continues unabated. We don't intend to slacken. We don't intend to retreat any iota. And believe you me, that Biafra will come in the not too distant future. I'm very confident of that.
What does the state of Biafra mean for the people of the land?
It is the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth. What we have seen and continue to see since the creation of Nigeria is a level of backwardness and regression which nobody ever envisaged. Not even those that fought the British for independence could have foreseen what Nigeria would become in some decades down the line. What you're seeing is a new level of what I call primitivity in governance, a new level of poverty, a new level of backwardness, a new level of what they have done in essence is to destroy every fabric that sustains any modern viable democracy by any stretch of the imagination, you couldn't possibly describe Nigeria as a civilized, viable country. All the places that I've been to, touring the world, speaking to policymakers and influencers, have led me to believe that no one has any hope that Nigeria will survive. And I can assure you, it will not survive. With this reign of terrorism, this brutal repression of free speech, this clampdown on the very core tenets of democracy, that there is no way that the Fulani template for Nigeria can survive the next 5 years. I do not envisage it.
Some people have said that what you are advocating invariably puts your supporters, and for that matter, the Igbo community, in danger, not only in Nigeria, but the rest of the world. How do you react to that?
We know that freedom is very expensive. We are here in the United States of America, where people fought and died and sacrificed their lives to sustain what is arguably the most civilized modern nation on the face of the earth. We recognize those sacrifices, and it is something that we're prepared to make. If ultimately, at the end of this very process, there is only one Biafran man and one Biafran woman left, we will make do with that. They can go ahead and procreate and create the future Biafra nation. What we must state very clearly is that nobody should underestimate our resolve. We are determined. My mother have just died as a result of this very effort. Many more have gone, and we are prepared to sacrifice whatever it takes to ensure that Biafra is restored. Because it's not just the hope of, say, the Biafrans themselves. Biafra will save other ethnic groups within Nigeria, and Biafra, I believe very strongly, is the beacon and the hope and the light of Africa. Once Biafra stands as an independent entity, believe you me, you will record development and progress within the wider Africa. But without Biafra, none of that will ever happen.
Some Igbo monarchs have petitioned or have requested and urged the government to allow you to come back home and give your mother, your deceased mother, a befitting burial. What is your stance on that?
My mother died as a result of the agitation for Biafra, and she made it very clear when she was alive that anything that I have to do to ensure that Biafra is restored is what I must do. And asking anybody to allow me to go back home to bury my mother is not part of that plan and is not part of that agreement. I have not asked anyone to speak to or lobby anybody on my behalf, and I will not, and I will not accept any, should it come across to me. What we are trying to say is this: I am not interested in going back to bury my mother, if that will entail the killing, disappearance, and extrajudicial torture, as they always do, against our people. We are not, I repeat, we are not going to do anything to jeopardize the lives of our people.